So the other day, my son, who's 24, he has a little bit of money. I mean, like a little bit of money. He has like maybe $10,000 that he's got from his aunts and uncles and saving. And he said to me, well, I've got this money in my Schwab account, Mom. What should I do with it? And I'm like, I don't know. So then he says, well, should I do one of those automated things? I'm like, you mean like a robo advisor? And he goes, yeah, I guess. Well, you know, I think so. I think that's what it is. So I decided I'd do the smart thing and look at our research and see what our research says about young people and robo advisors. So what we found out in our research at Spectrum recently is that 6% of people who are of young people, millennials and Gen Xers, who have over $5 million net worth. Now that's a lot. My son definitely isn't in that range. However, 6% of those people no, that's wrong. I take that back. 6% of households, total households that have more than $5 million are these young people, these Gen Xers and millennials. So only a small portion of them. But of that portion, 56% of those people are using a robo-advisor. Interesting, isn't it? It's kind of like scary for our industry. And what's also interesting is 70% of these young people feel like they educate themselves about investments rather than going to a formal financial advisor. 56% are using these robo-advisors. So we said, so how much money are they giving the robo-advisor? And the average balances of these accounts that these young people have is $421,000. That's a lot of money to give to a robo-advisor. We also ask lots of other questions, like why are they using the robo-advisor, what's interesting to them. You know, a lot of it's fee-based, a lot of it's knowledge-based, a lot of it's feeling like they don't have enough assets to go to a regular financial advisor. But when you ask them who the most popular financial firms are, they say the same things as baby boomers and the older generation. They say Fidelity and Schwab and Vanguard. Well, you know, all of those companies are now moving into the realm of having robo-advisors, right? And that's exactly what my son's looking at. The other thing that's interesting, though, is that we looked at satisfaction levels. And satisfaction levels of young people with their, quote, advisors are generally a little bit lower, actually a lot lower than they are with like baby boomers and World War II people. And some of those people are the same people that are using robo-advisors. So when we look at the overall happiness with robo-advisors, they're not that so happy long term. It's like they know that someday they're going to have to talk to a real person. We also heard a lot of stories about when the market dropped a few weeks ago. You know, everyone's trying to call their robo-advisor, right? You can call your broker when you're worried about the market, but you can't really call your robo-advisor because they're not necessarily going to call you back. So we anticipate that we'll see some changes in happiness levels or satisfaction levels as we go forward with that. So anyway, what we find in our research is that we believe that people who are using these robo-advisors, these young people, will eventually start to move towards human advisors that can give them some information about things that, you know, that they don't really know how to deal with, like what happens when I have to take $40,000 out of my account to pay for my child's education, those types of questions. And when we ask young people what they're most interested in learning about, some of the things other than saving for college and my retirement are elder care, because their parents are getting older, as well as long-term care, not just for their parents, but also for themselves so that they can plan ahead. So all of these things are really important as we start to think about what's going to happen to our industry and, you know, how do we service these young people, because maybe the robo-advisors are the right way to go for them. Anyway, as you move forward and as you try to attract these young people to a human advisor, think about things like you have to be able to respond to them via text. You have to be able to FaceTime with them. They're very comfortable with those types of communication. So it's something you really need to think about. The other thing you need to think about is all these years we went through where we were trying to be really in compliance and not do things like load our clients up with tickets or try to do things that didn't look quite kosher, I guess, in front of some of the regulators. Well, young people really want those kinds of things. They really want you to reach out to them. They want you to take them to dinner, and they want you to take them to the baseball game. Or they want you to go run a marathon with them or go to some kind of profitable event, or not profitable, but for-profit or charitable types of events. So those are all things that you need to think about when you're trying to attract wealthy young people to come to you for real advice from a real human. So that's it for now. We'll see you on the next vlog. Thanks for watching.